One of the big worries using spreadsheets, either working individually or as part of a group collaborative on the same sheet, is that you overwrite something or you make a mistake on something and adjust it by a mistake. So, for example, we've got Han Solo here with his score of 14. It looks anomalously low. Is it that he has been misentered? Should it actually be a 34 as the person typing it in got it ever so slightly wrong? Or have they accidentally typed over it or something like that? Now, there's ways we can protect that, and it's called protect range. So you only want to do it to things that you are sure are not going to change. So if I've checked these scores, I've validated them, I'm happy with them, then at that point, these would be suitable to protect it because it's a score, it's an assessment, it's a fixed moment in time, it's not an ongoing thing, unlike potentially names, which could change, or vulnerable status, which could be changing. So I need to protect these to make sure I don't accidentally type over them or copy and paste into the wrong column or mix something up. So to access this, I highlight the data I want to protect. So it could be the entire column, or it could just be a section of it. And I need to right click somewhere in the area I have highlighted. There is an option down here called Protect Range. When I click on that, it will tell me that I'm on sheet 1, F2 to F9. I could adjust that if I really wanted to. I could take it down to F23 or F996. And I now have to set permissions for this. So if I click on the Set Permissions button in the sidebar, it gives me some options. Now, this is really useful if I'm working on a document collaboratively. So I could be sharing this spreadsheet with 5, 10, 15 other people, but only I am allowed to edit that range. So no one else can change that range apart from me. So no one can go and accidentally change a score or delete it. They won't even have the option. They can click in the cell, but they won't be able to type. I could customize that so that only certain people, so when there's 10 people on it, there's 3 of us could have permission from that. Again, if I've been setting it up across a whole spreadsheet, I could just copy those permissions rather than redoing it. So if, say, I was letting me, Mr. A, and Mr. B do things to the spreadsheet, but Miss C and Mr. Q can't touch anything, then I could just copy those assessments, those permissions across. However, the other option as well is just to show a warning when editing this range. So that's the kind of one where I think that's probably more appropriate if I'm doing it on my own at the moment. So it's if I try to change Darth Vader's score from 91 to 97, it'll just warn me, are you sure you want to do that? In which case I can say, yes, I am sure, but it just stops me accidentally wiping something out. That would be more useful, and if there were lots of people working on a document. So for now, just a warning. That would apply to other people as well. It's not actually stopping anyone doing anything, it's just giving a reminder. It tells me the changes are saved, and we can hear there that I'm allowed to edit it, but I do get a warning. So if I go into that cell and attempt to change him to 97 and press enter, it'll give me a quick heads up and it'll tell me that I'm trying to edit part that shouldn't be changed. So it does not do the change. Notice it's still 91. So if I click cancel, it'll just bounce me back to 91. If I say OK, it will allow the change and bump it up to 97. So that's useful on certain things. Think very carefully how you use it. It's very useful if you've got facts that aren't going to change and you worry about copy and pasting or you worry about typing in the wrong column. The not allowing people to share it, to edit certain bits, is very useful if you've got a large shared spreadsheet. It might be worth, in those cases, protecting names to stop people accidentally copying and pasting over, because you will still be able to go and adjust it afterwards. If you decide you want to take the warning or the blocks off, just click on it in the side menu. It'll just give you a summary of what it is, and then you can just hit the delete. It will make sure you want to get rid of it and you can remove it. Interestingly, with the permissions, with the permission settings, if I set the permission that no one else is allowed to do anything to something, then only I can remove that, so someone else can't remove it. Useful for protecting certain bits. A lot of people use it to protect the top row as well. So especially if you've frozen your top row, you can just protect your top row to make sure that no one actually gets rid of that. But then be careful with that, because then you won't be able to add any more columns to it unless you take the protection off first. So that is protecting ranges or protecting individual cells, because of course you could do it, say you had a big formula in here to do final scores. You could just protect the range, and a range could just be an individual cell. So if you've written a great big long formula in there that you're really proud of, you could set it that no one could touch that. Or you can make an error onto it by accidentally copying a bit in. That is protecting ranges and individual cells in Sheets.